Hello. Alright, so making another video obviously. So my last two videos that I made, I was in a pretty good place when I posted them. Things were going quite well. I was definitely in an upswing of my experience. Right now, not so much the case. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I haven't slept. Got to be at work in a few hours. The last few days have been just absolute fucking hell. But I still am hopeful. Absolutely hopeful. I had a couple points I wanted to make. When it's really bad, I go to a pretty bad place pretty quick. I mean, I'm suicidal thoughts every time. And, like I said in my last video, maybe my first video, I tried to commit suicide like 3 times. Hospitalized 3 times for trying to commit suicide. I tried more times than that. I tried overdosing and slit my wrists, all this stuff. All this fun stuff. But, ultimately now, I just pull myself together. And I weather the storm. Because a storm will always subside if you are determined. Determination is key. You got to decide that you're not going to just settle for this agonizing life. My last video, I only kept it for a week. And I'll probably only keep this video up for a week, maybe not even that long. And the reason being, among others, is that when I post these videos, I end up getting kind of consumed with them and was like constantly checking how many views I got or looking at comments or, it like distracts me from life and I have other things I need to be focusing on. I mean, other than watching myself on YouTube, what a treat, but, it's, I got other stuff I need to be doing. So, probably not going to leave this up here very long. And I also realize that my videos, when I post them, the advice I give is applicable to no one more than it is to me. I've realized that after I post these videos and I go back and watch them, that the shit I was saying, because I never think about what I'm going to say, I just hit record on my laptop and just start talking. That a lot of the shit I was saying is always almost like advice from within to myself. Really helpful stuff. I don't always follow it, which leads to some of the shittier parts of my experience. And, so my last video, I said that I didn't think what I was experiencing was capable through technology, and that this was like God or the universe, showing me the way to enlightenment through a series of very cruel realizations, I guess you could say. Right now, I'm just going to say, I don't know, whatever. To me, it almost doesn't matter the origin. It doesn't matter to me on my day-to-day life. I mean, it doesn't change anything for me. I guess it's just all I know is that if I want to make this good, I can't believe that it's something condemning that I can't have any, say in how it turns out. If I believe that the only way that this is going to get better is if this gets exposed and somebody else comes and saves me, that this will just get turned off. So, if I have this idea that, I can't do anything about this, I need somebody else to come save me, that mentality just does no good for me, and I don't believe it does good for anybody. Sure, it needs to get exposed someday, and this does need to get turned off. But I know from a fact for myself that when I'm in the pits of hell, when this is really fucking hard, when I am just on the verge of fucking absolutely breaking, when I'm on the verge of fucking hanging myself, nobody's coming to save me. Nobody has yet, and nobody's going to. So I decided that I was going to save myself. About a year and a half ago, I decided I was going to save myself. All right. And it has not been easy at all. It's been, here's the thing is that when you're going through this, especially when it's tough, the way to make it get a little bit better is you got to force yourself to do the hard things at the hard times. Today, I could easily not go to work in a couple hours. I could easily say I didn't get any sleep. I'm a head case right now. I'm diminished emotionally, physically. And then I would sit here all day and I'd be in fucking shit. I'd be in hell all day long. I know I would be. So I'm going to pull myself together and I'm going to go to work. And I'm not just going to try to, phone it in per se, I'm going to try to apply myself and try to do well at work. And when I get home, I'm not going to just hop on the couch, clean up around the house, call my son, make plans with my other son for the weekend, maybe hang out with a friend. I'm going to do that stuff. And maybe at the very end of the day, hour, half an hour before I go to bed, I'll turn that TV on and I'll watch it for a little bit, and I might actually enjoy it. I find that if you keep yourself busy doing positive things, and you can kind of outrun this a little bit. It always kind of catches up to you, eventually. On your day-to-day life, if you stay busy, you keep moving, you can kind of outrun this. It might sound too simple to be true, but it is. Like I basically turned off the comments to my last video, and I very well may do that to this one, probably will. Because, people are really funny here because, I have a message of hope, saying that there is a way to make this better. And so many people are just like, what the fuck? You're going to sit here and tell me that this is not absolutely hopeless? No, fuck that. I know for a fact that I'm and everybody else is completely fucked. So what the fuck, Here, let me fucking post a fucking 10-page fucking essay about how fucked you are. So anybody who could, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't affect me. I don't read this stuff and be like, oh, I guess I am fucked. But I do think that maybe, there might be somebody who comes on here, not that I'm trying to save anybody really, I guess, I don't think it's my job, I should say. But I do hope that maybe, somebody would come on here feeling just completely hopeless and watch this and see that, okay, somebody did find a way to do a little bit better with this. So maybe there's hope for me. And then if they go and read a bunch of fucking comment after comment, basically saying, arguing the idea of hope, it might diminish their little bit of hope they may have, garnered, from watching this video. So, Target's just like everybody else, man. You give like somebody a form to put a comment on, it's just like nothing but negative bullshit. And honestly, I think that's a sign. If you're posting, if you're leaving comments on the internet, if it's more than one or two a day and they're negative at all, it means you're really depressed. I honestly think that. So maybe try to use that as a measuring stick. I honestly think that's true. I'm sure there's a study out there that would agree with that. So, this is all about weathering the storm. Weather the storm. It will end. It will subside. It's up to you a little bit. It will subside. It's up to you a little bit to decide how intense the storm is going to be. I don't think we can always avoid the storm. We can probably avoid some of them. Because I know for a fact that I can create a storm. I know for a fact that I can start that inner dialogue where I am just negative, and I'll start the storm. So some of them, they feel like they come out of nowhere, even when I'm trying to be positive. And that's where, but I know that when I'm trying to be positive and something negative hits me, all of a sudden it's starting to physically attack me, in the most cruel, brutal way. I get, I almost feel offended, which is kind of stupid at this point, but I'm always kind of like, I'm trying, because honestly, it feels like a lot of the time if I try, it's better. So when I try and it's not better, I get pretty upset. And I know that's kind of ridiculous because I know that it's going to be hard sometimes, no matter what. But it, I read some of this like kind of help, for targets, and it almost sounds like some of the suggestions are like almost kind of like live, like come to terms with a reduced life in a way, And I guess still there, even what I'm saying, that's still kind of true because you're kind of given no choice. So I still feel like I choose what I do, but I'm not getting to choose how I do it, I guess. And there is some limitations, obviously, but I still ultimately have free will. I mean, still decide to do whatever I want. So, get a knife and like stab myself in the leg if I wanted to, and I can still go skipping down the street if I wanted to. I can still do whatever I want. It just, if I'm not moving forward, I can't outrun this. And moving forward, like I said, is not always just like working overtime and cleaning up around the house. You really do have to find balance. Balance is crucial. Your friends and family and your own interests are a part of this. It's kind of hard to decipher when and where those go, but they do belong. And actually, this can actually get much worse for you if you neglect things that you think it is preventing you from. Because if you overdoing any aspect of it is going to have a little bit of backlash. But there needs to be time for your friends and your family and interests of your own. You got to prioritize. You got to really, make a list of what's truly important and positive. It can't just be like, oh, what's really important to me is playing 4 hours of video games a day, because that won't do you too well in this experience. I can guarantee it. Anything, I just know for myself personally. Now, I think this is going to be pretty much true for most people. If you're like a full spectrum target, if you've experienced the whole spectrum, I don't know about people who are only getting like physical like ailments for years. They've just been like feeling like radiation hits them at 1:30 at night. I don't know. That's kind of weird. I actually think you're lucky if that's what you got, because that would be a walk in the park for someone who has a full spectrum of it. If you have the full spectrum, and you got to like, you don't have to do it all at once, but you got to like start knocking some things off the checklist. Like you got to start eating healthier, getting some exercise, going to work, applying yourself, make goals. Like right now this is a house I rent. I've made a goal that in a year I'm going to buy my own house. That probably end up being like 2 years, the way this always works out. But I'm going to, I know in America we don't really talk about money, but I'm going to damn near double my income this year than I did last year, unless I break a leg or something. And I doubled it from the previous year. Of course, the previous year I only worked part-time. Last year was pretty much full-time. This year's been overtime. Plus a pay raise, a lot more responsibilities. I'm moving forward. And like you might see my other videos, let's see if you can get the shot. See all those cases right here? All right. Throughout this experience, I even started my own side business buying and selling used Legos. I know this sounds so geeky, and it is. But, it's actually a nice secondary income. I mean, so, like, you can't, like, I decided I wasn't going to fucking, like, just settle for a shit life. Yeah, I got to settle for some shit times. I got to settle for some physical things done to me that no human should ever experience. But I'm not sacrificing all of it because it's unfair and it's cruel and some shit is unthinkable. I'm not going to sacrifice everything. I'm going to still pursue my dreams and pursue happiness, and I feel like I'm going to get these things. Maybe not how I want them and when I want them, but I think I'm going to get them. And I'm not going to give up because it's hard. All right. All right, I want to keep this at 15 minutes. I'm just going to stop there. Weather the storm. Keep trying. You got it.